Hello, YouTubers. This is Matt Kramer, and I want to wish all of you a very Merry Christmas. And it is still Christmas, and I am lucky enough to be able to give you the Christmas message before this day runs out. I just gave this very message, on my radio show just now, and it's now available. It's archived and available for you to listen to. You'll notice there is a break because using this iPhone, where I do the videos, I use the iPhone for the radio show as well, and somehow we lost connection. Me and the computer lost connection. And but thankfully, the message is still available for you. It's only about a minute and a half, maybe less of a break, so that's nothing to worry about. Tonight, I want to give that same message here on YouTube. I sent a link to a couple of friends. I sent one to Justin Bieber. Before I get into the message tonight, speaking of Mr. Justin Bieber, this morning I got to see the new movie, Believe, Justin Bieber's Believe. And there were only in the theater, it's in the city of Orange, which is not too far away from where I live here in Anaheim. And I saw the movie, and John Chu, who directed it, he also directed Never Say Never a couple years ago. And now we have, again, John Chu as director. And Scooter Braun is producer, Justin Bieber's producer, Usher as producer. And they did a very, very good job. The music was, of course, it's from his albums, Justin's albums. And one of the scenes that is not only in the trailers but in the movie is when Justin gets emotional about the loss of Avalana Ruth, who had a very rare brain condition. I think it's something to do with the brain. And Justin recounted that, and it was bittersweet. And I noticed that some of the people in the theater with me were also getting emotional with Justin. So that's one scene. I'm not going to spoil the whole movie if you have not seen it yet. But that being said, it was a very well done movie. I sent tweets to Justin and Scooter and John Chu. Very well done. I hope the movie is successful in the box office, along with, and they might have competitors too. With two other movies are coming out that did come out today. One is 47 Ronin, some samurai movie with Keanu Reeves, and the other one is Grudge Match. I mentioned this last video, Grudge Match with Robert De Niro and Sylvester Stallone. That I may see in the theater, but I'm thinking of just, waiting, till it comes out on video, or I can see it on here on my laptop that you see right here. So, that being said, let me get into tonight's message. The reason for this season, Christmas 2013. I wrote this actually 3 years ago, and I updated it for this year because there's a couple of ideas, well, at least one big idea I wanted to give. I did not give it the first time I wrote this message. Christmas, again, is upon us. And, excuse me, let me get I got some Bible. I want to just have my Bible with me. I'm not going to have it open. I got some verses quoted here already, but it's nice to have a Bible, a little resource. So, Christmas, let me quote a movie called The Preacher's Wife, okay? And the preacher, who's played by Courtney B. Vance, and the wife was played by the wife was played by the late Whitney Houston. And Courtney B. Vance, his character, and I forget his character's name, but he said Christmas is supposed to be the most joyous time of the year. I think that those were the words. And it was going to say before St. Matthew's. So St. Matthew's is a fictional church. Actually, I think it's actually a real church, which was used for the movie. And Gregory Hines, who also passed away a few years ago, he was in the movie too. In that movie, the church St. Matthew's was losing. I guess it was losing money. It was losing finances, and it couldn't get repaired. There's some repairs that needed to be done, and the money from the parishioners were not coming in. And so this guy named Gregory, played by Gregory Hines, he says, "I want to buy the church and make an amusement park, do all this." And Courtney B. Vance's character says, no. It's St. Matthew's. It's supposed to be there. It's supposed to stay there. So, Christmas, but as negotiations were starting to unfold, and Courtney B. Vance, the preacher, played by Courtney, was going to preach his last message before the church was shut down. He said, Christmas is supposed to be the most joyous time of the year. Christmas can still be in the real life, be the most joyous time of the year. But for some people, there are some people who don't celebrate Christmas because they can't, or just because they don't want to. They're of a different religion, or they have no religion. And that could be troublesome for the children of younger generations. We don't know, America especially, in this nation, in this century, in this decade, does not know the reason for the season. Why we celebrate Christmas. No one knows the reason. When you think about Christmas, you think about shopping lists, you think about presents for the children, you think about stockings hung just above the fireplace, you think of family get-togethers, aunts, uncles, nephews, grandpas, grandmas, people. Your neighbors may come over. You may have a nativity scene propped up in the front yard. And you have to use air. You flip a switch and some of these, these plastic things, those things at the car dealerships, stuff like that. And you have these nativity scenes with the star, with Mary, with Joseph, with baby Jesus in the manger. For some people, it's just there, just to be there. Or you have a village. My mother has a village, and she sometimes puts it up. She didn't put it up this year, but sometimes she has a village. It's like about 5 or 6 different houses. Nice setup too, and she'll put up. We used to have a piano here at the house, and she would put it on top of the piano. It was a nice village, but that's it. There's no religious service behind Christmas. There's no real significance unless we acknowledge that there is one. It's just another day of the year, people say. I don't celebrate Christmas. I can care less about Christmas. People in my generation don't know about Christmas. They don't know the reason for the season. They just go get the stuff done, get the shopping done, and next day, pack up, wait another 365 days. Ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, there is a reason for the season, and while it is still before midnight, that reason is Jesus Christ. What is Christmas? Idea number one. Christmas is a combination. If you're a grammar teacher, English teacher, you may agree with this. Christmas can be a combination of a name or title and the word. Christ, which is the title of Jesus. Christ, Jesus, people call him Jesus Christ. And when you're young, I've done this too, okay? When you're young, you think, oh, what's Jesus' last name? Hey, Mr. Christ. No, Christ actually should come before Jesus is a title which means anointed one. Christ, Mass. M-A-S-S. When you think of Mass, you think of Catholic Masses, right? The Holy Father, Pope Francis I. Not the Mass I'm thinking about. Look up Mass in a dictionary, either dictionary.com or if you have a Webster's dictionary at home. Look up Mass, M-A-S-S, and there's a word I think should be in there. It's not in there. Celebration. Right? You're celebrating something. You're celebrating Jesus' birth. Period. But why did he come? We celebrate Christ himself, who he is, what he did, what he's doing, and what he will do in the future. But in this time of the year, we celebrate his birth. He can do both at the same time. We realize that both Christmas, the first Christmas, the first Easter, the first Good Friday, was 2,000 years ago. But we keep celebrating it because we should and we need to. The central theme of Christmas is that first prefix. Prefix and suffix, do you know what those are? Those are two parts of one word. Prefix, suffix. The prefix of Christmas is Christ. And he is the central theme of Christmas. Never forget that. Subject of loss, though. We have lost, we remember the church, I think it's the church of Ephesus, in Revelation chapter 3 or 4. Philadelphia, the church of Philadelphia, I believe. It lost its first love. Philadelphia phileo is a Greek word for love. And it's brotherly love that I have toward people at work, I have toward people at church, I have toward people in this neighborhood, there's people I know, I've known for 20 years. There's brotherly love there. But we've lost the love of God. We never had it. And speaking of loss, may I add that there are families here tonight who have lost loved ones. Loved ones have died. Loved ones have gone to heaven. They've passed from this life to the next. And where they go from there is only in God's hands. Okay. Let me give you a couple of examples. Crouch family, Paul Crouch, from TV, and Paul Crouch Sr. passed away. He was 79. Nelson Mandela, former president of South Africa, passed away. Peter O'Toole, he's one of the recents. Paul Walker from the Fast and Furious movies, and others. And we remember also a year ago, about a couple of weeks ago, a year and a couple of weeks ago, was the massacre suicide at Newtown, Sandy Hook Elementary School. Yeah, Sandy Hook Elementary School in Newtown, Connecticut. Only a year ago. And we still have soldiers, ladies and gentlemen, fighting in Afghanistan, maybe in Iraq, and in other countries. And because of these wars, we've lost fathers, we've lost mothers, brothers, sisters, grandparents, grandkids. Like the Perez family, there's a family that I know at church, okay? And this was on ABC 7. And little 4-year-old boy, I think it was about 4 years old,